Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer. You might walk outside, look around your neighborhood, and just assume that humans run your city. You probably think our laws, our roads, and our schedules dictate how the world works. But based on the truly fascinating world detailed in the source text for Crow Parliament, you are absolutely wrong. There is a literal shadow government operating right above our heads.
So, here is what we are covering today. First, we'll go inside the Crow Parliament, then look at managing wealth and scavenging, followed by the art of human conditioning. After that, we'll hit tactical reprisals and warfare, and finally wrap up with memory, survival, and legacy.
All right, part 1. Inside the Crow Parliament. To understand how they operate, just picture the literal seating chart of their headquarters in the Great Oak. It dictates everything about their society. At the very top, in the High Roost, you have Speaker Ash and the Elders. They get the absolute best view, total authority, and crucially, no droppings from above. Then you move down to the mid-level branches. That's for the committee chairs, basically your middle management. They get good acoustics and handle the actual portfolios and day-to-day operations. And at the very bottom, the lower bows. This is where the fledglings and first-termers have to sit, learning a whole lot of humility while being directly in the firing line of everyone else's digestive systems.
This incredibly strict hierarchy is the entire foundation of their power. In fact, Speaker Ash actually opens his sessions with this incredibly chilling phrase, "Let the record show that we remember everything." And here's the thing, they don't have paper. They don't have hard drives. They govern by relying entirely on genetic memory and an unbroken chain of witness. When they declare that they remember everything, it is not a metaphor, it's a biological fact. Now, to truly grasp the Crow Parliament, you have to completely rethink their economy. Because to a crow, garbage isn't waste at all. It is opportunity. It's survival. It is commerce. Literally everything we discard is a resource for them to manage, trade, and fiercely protect.
Which brings us to part 2, managing wealth and scavenging.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is that they don't just scavenge randomly, okay? They hoard with the kind of ruthless precision you'd expect from Wall Street bankers. Think about their main cache, accumulated over 11 years inside a hollow elm tree. It is intensely audited. We are talking 1,247 bottle caps, all meticulously sorted by color and condition. Over 800 coins. They even have functioning USB drives and a password-protected smartphone in there, plus around 4 pounds of just shinies. To us, it's just lost items. To them, it's a closely monitored treasury of immense wealth and leverage.
But how do they actually acquire all of this? Through something known as the oral map. This isn't just a list, it is a generational, heavily guarded intelligence briefing passed down by elders. It maps out the absolute best scavenging spots in the city. You've got the Whole Foods dumpster right at 6 a.m. You've got the high school bleachers after Friday night football games for those high-reward nachos. And the 7-Eleven where they have a specific directive to protect a night manager named Ponytail Greg. There's even a local brewery for advanced scavenging, though honestly, those fermented grains lead to some dangerously hilarious crow drunkenness.
Just consider the strategic brilliance of this one specific choice. The crows once found a lost 0.7-carat diamond engagement ring. Now, the hoarders on the committee desperately wanted to keep it. I mean, it's incredibly shiny, right? But Speaker Ash made a brilliant executive decision to return the ring to the weeping human who lost it. Why? Because a ring you can't actually use is just dead weight. But a grateful human? Now that is a long-term investment. They engineered a highly theatrical scenario to return the ring, entirely to manufacture a lifelong debt of gratitude.
And that leads perfectly into Section 3, the art of human conditioning.
Listen, in the eyes of the Parliament, humans fall into 2 very distinct categories. You are either a highly cultivated asset, or you are a marked enemy. A level 3 asset, like the woman whose ring they returned, actively brings premium cashews, leaves out water bowls, and defends them from threats. A marked target, on the other hand, is someone who uses a leaf blower on a Sunday morning and destroys their tribute reserves. There is literally no in between. You are either useful infrastructure or you are a target.
And the way they execute this conditioning? It's a terrifyingly effective 4-step psychological protocol. They actually pulled this off on the ring lady in just 8 weeks. First up, phase 1, positive association. They just hang around, looking totally harmless. Then phase 2, they establish a routine so she actually names them individually. Now, phase 3 is where it gets wild, behavioral conditioning. They will literally reject cheap peanuts by dropping them in disgust until the human gets confused, Googles what crows like, and upgrades to cashews. Finally, phase 4. They engineer a fake threat with some passing teenagers to force the human to defend them. Boom. Ultimate loyalty locked in.
And the final result of all that effort? 43. That is the exact number of likes Ringlady got on a single Instagram post featuring her crows. They haven't just manipulated her feeding habits, they've successfully weaponized human social media, turning themselves into influencers just to secure a steady stream of premium food?
So Speaker Ash himself actually raises this huge philosophical question. Do humans condition the crows, or do the crows condition the humans? Ultimately, the parliament concludes that as long as they are getting premium cashews and custom solar-powered bird baths out of the deal, they really don't care who thinks they're in charge.
All right, let's look at the dark side in Section 4, Tactical Reprisals and Warfare.
When a human crosses a line, say, a man named Michael R. Hendricks, who purposefully used a 2-stroke leaf blower to completely destroy a sacred winter tribute reserve, they receive the mark. And getting the mark means you become a permanent target of psychological warfare. Every single crow in the Tri-County area will learn your face, your scent, and your daily schedule.
Just trace this escalating military-grade warfare against Hendricks. Day 1, auditory harassment. Just screaming outside his bedroom window at 4:47 a.m. to completely disorient him. Day 2, visual harassment, leaving exactly 14 precise droppings on his freshly detailed Honda Civic. Day 3, tactical property damage. We're talking shredding his newspaper into confetti and literally tying his garden hose into knots. When Hendricks finally cracked and bought a BB gun on day 7, the crows escalated to the nuclear option. They invoked the Raccoon Accord to hire mercenaries to completely ransack his garage at 2:30 in the morning. Hendricks literally put his house up for sale within a month.
And their absolute control over their territory extends way beyond just homeowners. There was a murderous cat named Pumpkin who was meticulously tracked and purposefully lured into a territorial dog's yard. A street mime who made the mistake of grabbing a crow, he was relentlessly harassed by 20 staring, dive-bombing crows, disrupting his act until he quit his spot entirely. A teenager's drone was swarmed, its camera purposefully cracked, and forced into a tree to die. And when neighborhood carolers got way too loud, the crows didn't fight them. They actually matched their pitch with rhythmic cawing, manipulating the entire situation to gain viral fame and even more food from delighted humans.
Now, I want to pause on the Raccoon Accord for a second, because it is just mind-blowing. Crows generally despise raccoons, right? But they possess this diplomatic willingness to hire them as literal mercenaries when nuclear-level property damage is acquired. They traded exclusive access to Hendricks's high-quality takeout trash in exchange for the raccoons using their thumbs to create absolute, unmitigated chaos. It is brutal, calculated, and highly effective politics.
Let's bring it all home with Section 5, Memory, Survival, and Legacy.
Elder Morning, who is the oldest and wisest of the Parliament, delivered this almost scripture-like wisdom to the fledglings. He said, "It is everything the humans throw away. To us, it is opportunity. It is survival. It is commerce. This entire system isn't just about eating trash. It is a profound philosophy of resilience. They have built an entire, thriving civilization entirely out of our excess."
And to ensure this incredible legacy continues, they run a rigorous youth outreach program. The younger fledglings are put through strict military-style drills. They learn evasive flight patterns so they don't become a smear on a windshield. They practice critical threat assessment, like learning that a stuffed toy hawk is a non-threat, but a plastic bag, that's a level 3 deadly hazard that can tangle their wings. And they aggressively study garbage identification, learning how to differentiate a calorie-dense French fry, which can save their life in winter, from a highly toxic cigarette butt.
But listen, when winter is truly brutal, and the main cache actually runs dry, they rely on sacred memory. They fly out to the old place, a completely forgotten human landfill from decades ago, now totally covered in wildflowers. Because the oldest crows remember exactly where it is, they can dig up perfectly sealed decades-old canned human food to survive the worst starvation months. It's their ultimate safety net, accessed only in times of true need, guided by the memory of the elders and passed down through generations. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. If a shadow society can build a complex political and strategic civilization entirely out of what we throw away, manipulating us, fighting coordinated wars, and passing down generational maps, what else are we entirely blind to? The natural world is operating a highly sophisticated network right outside our windows. So the next time you see a crow sitting on a power line just watching you, remember, they really do remember everything.